Hello, welcome back. Today what I want to show you is some of the cages. I've been asked in a few messages, just want to touch on these type of cages that they are. These are Gehu cages. They are, I mean, they're not the best on the market, there is the flaws with it, but I think they work for me, and obviously if you find what works for you, stick with it. Now, for me, they're ideal because they're easy to clean out, especially in breeding season. You can shut them off into each section with the sliders. Very strong, very robust, like I said, easy to clean out, very deep trays. I only use Easy Bed in the bottom of the cages. Obviously there's nothing in this one at the minute, but Easy Bed, it's meant to be dust free, not 100%, but it is really good. Now, as far as like the front, can't be simpler to take them off. Just literally lift up and out. That simple. Back into the groove. Put it back in. Back in again. Not only that, they have the external doors for your nest sites. You can see here. Perfect. Easy accessible if you're using external nest fans as well. Perches. I'll show you some little tips on perches. Obviously some that we sell. The plastic ones, yes, they're ideal, strong enough, but as you can probably see, there is grooves in it. Mite will get in there if you've got mite, and everyone says that they've never had mite, but I tend to differ. But just a little simple tip, Vaseline, just into the groove, just put it round into the grooves. Obviously if there's any mite in there, it won't get past that point. So just into the groove there. Back in there, it won't harm your bird, because obviously it's on the outside. Slide back in. Can't be simpler. Now obviously the Gehu cages don't come with a blue background. This standard blue vinyl you can get from any printing shop, that is just on the packs. I just think I like the little thing, it looks, shows the birds out a bit better. But obviously I didn't do these, I bought these cages unfortunately off a novice that packed in. I've had them probably 2 years now and they've served me well. They do come in various sizes. I mean, these ones are the smaller ones. These are ones where you probably tend to breed your canaries in. Even if you, I mean, this is a third 3-section cage. You open them up. I did last year, I bred green finches in obviously a treble breeder. Just opening them all up. Nest site in the corner, we've done the trick. Chaffinches will breed in there. I mean, I've actually had more success breeding chaffinches in these cages than I have in flight. So, but everyone's got their own opinion. Now there's some little bits on obviously mite, because these cages do have a lot of nooks and crevices where mites can get in. Obviously up there, in the wire bits. Simple little things. DE powder, it's completely natural. You just spray it into your corners of your cage every time you clean them out. I think cleaning out is key. And obviously when you disinfect them, this is one thing I use. Clean and safe. Brilliant, because you can actually spray, use this while the birds are in the cage. It's totally fine to use. Now, a couple of years back, I lost 29 birds using RDAP. Some of you who know me do know what happened. There was a new version of RDAP that came out, and I'd been using it for years before, just spraying it around the cages, not while birds are in there, but obviously it was quite toxic, and 29 birds killed. But this is one that I've been trying now, used it a few times. It does say on it that you don't need to remove your birds, so I have used it, knocked up the birds out and had no problem. Yes, I mean I can't say much more than that at this point, because like I said, I've only used it a few times myself, so later on in the year when I've used it a lot more I can obviously tell you a bit more about it. But that's one thing that we do provide, but as of yet I can't say if it's 100% safe or not. So But that, I mean, it is foam mites, spiders, flies, all that type of stuff. It is upholstery and animals, so it should be safe, but you can never know, because that's what Ardat said, really. Now, there is another question was asked me about certain things, such as your perches, your drinkers, and your seed pots. I mean, the variety is endless, really. Different companies have different types, different sizes, shapes, everything. I mean, one of the sizes of perches we've got is these wooden ones. They're not expensive, they're only £1 a pair, and I think that's going across the board. No matter where you get them, they're the same price anyway. Same with the plastic ones I showed you earlier, £1 a pair. Both of them, I mean, wooden ones I've used for years. Just weekly taking them out every time you clean your birds out, put them in some bleach and just wipe them down. Simple as that. Same with the plastic ones. If you just keep them like that, they will last forever. I mean, one thing you don't want to do is leave shitty perches in cages with your birds, because that causes a lot of infections, because obviously the birds' feet are constantly perching on them. It's just not ideal. Now, so far as your drinkers, let's start with your drinkers first. Every drink I'm going to show you will sit perfectly on any cage from whether it be these ones, the punch bar. If they're all the same size, they fit. I mean, even they come with such as the olders anyway, but to be honest, as you can probably see in mine, you don't necessarily, this is a water pot, you don't necessarily need the olders because they fit snug and they're not going to fall off. These smoke type ones, good thing about these, they actually screw on. I think these are 250 centilitres, so a weekend drinker in essential really. But like I said, they do come with the holders if you need them, if you're not confident enough. But they will sit on perfectly. Let me just take that off. Perfectly. Also, one good thing about these ones is on the back, they do have grooves if you want to actually use them in a flight. To sit inside, or even inside the cage, they actually do sit in there. So that's them ones. In addition to the drinker, we actually do the same thing as a weekend feeder. Now, same idea. I've actually put seed in this, bear with me a second. Seed inside that just for the purpose, and a screw on. Same thing, they sit inside the flights or cages, so you don't need to be feeding every day. If you're going away on a day trip and you can't feed your birds that day, these are ideal. Perching station on the front so they can actually peck up what they like, and same again, they do come with the holders, so complete confidence with them. Another type of weekend feed is drinker. Smaller version, I think these are 150 centilitres. These are the type I've got here. We do actually sell these as well, just in a clear one. So I mean, they're basically what I use, because obviously if I'm feeding a medicine in the water, for instance, or Castle Red, that's good. But one tip, this time of year, with the weather being colder, don't fill them up to the top. So obviously water expands when it's freezing. They're just going to crack and bust. You're going to have to spend more money buying more. So just bear that in mind. If you know it's going to freeze, don't fill them completely to the top. But then again, don't leave your birds without water. Now everyone knows these old school type. Just the standard. Nothing wrong with them. We sell a hell of a lot of these. People who's winning every day, the retired people, they'll just come and buy these, stick them on the cages, change the water every day. I mean, you should really change the water every day anyway, but obviously, if you're like me, you're working, I'm self-employed, and sometimes I can't get in the morning when it's needed to fill them up, so the weekend drinkers or the smaller ones are ideal for me. Then also we do them the small blue ones, and these definitely will only last a day. But what I do with these ones is actually use it for grit. So I'll fill them up with grit, and just put them on there. On some of the cages, I mean on these ones I don't use them, purely because I've got the external ones which I use. Obviously you've got 2 in each cage. I'll use one for, especially if it's breeding season, for egg food, one for grit throughout the year, or one for treats and one for grit throughout the year, depending obviously what time of year it is. But yeah, I mean these are ideal, they're not expensive, they're only 60p each, and they work a treat, especially like I said if you're using for grit. But they are ideal if you're carrying boxes with water, just transporting birds from A to B. They're the ones for you really. Now coming on to breeding season, obviously it's not far away. I know some of the people that breed new colour canaries, red factors or what have you, will be obviously thinking about breeding now. So one thing, they always start earlier due to colour feeding of the birds and stuff. Now these are for nested material holders. Clip them open, nested material in. So if you're like me, you don't want nested material all over your floor rather than putting in your bars. Just put it inside one of these, clip it in, and there's a little groove on it. Put it into your cage, twist it on. The birds will peck freely, as you can see. They'll peck freely at the nested material only that they're going to be using. So that's them. We have them in green. Also, one thing I personally use for the nested material is the salad trays. The reason I use these is because once they're in the cage, when I put them in for, if I'm feeding broccoli, even cuttlefish when I feed them inside this, they're there anyway, the birds are used to being inside the cage. So, but I actually use this, put nested material inside because they just sit comfortable inside the cage. They'll pick the nested material out that they're using and you get less mess on the floor or the bottom of the cage. Yeah, stainless steel, they're ideal for what you need, but like I said, either one of these two for your nested material will work fine. I'll go into nested material in a bit more detail in a future video because there is certain types out there I would not use, and that is a wool one, but I'll go into that further down the line when it's ready for breeding season anyway. Now, such as your feeders, everyone knows the oval seed pots. There's one that's empty somewhere. Your oval seed pots, we've got hundreds of these, so don't worry if you think, oh, I'll need some of them but I'll wait. We've always got them in, so don't worry about them, we've got plenty in stock. These are what I'd rather use than use the external feeders due to making the job faster, rather than taking them off every time. I literally open the door, put them in. I mean, yeah, it's not ideal sometimes when the birds are obviously, if it's coming off the perch, they're going to crap in your food. You don't want that. But placing them right in the centre of the cage, the birds will pick freely at them, especially lazy birds such as in Norwich, because they don't like to mess around. They spend a lot of time on the floor, so they're the ones. Now everyone knows what these are. Egg food drawers. These are what I use for, such as your soaked seed in breeding season. Straight inside the door, scoop your food, what you're going to be using. You can even, obviously they're egg food drawers, use them for your egg food, but I prefer not to. I prefer to use these for the soaked seed. You just sit snug inside the door, lift in, lift out. That simple. Everyone's probably got some of these, or if you haven't, I don't know why. This one here is just a clear plastic one. This is more what I'd say for a grit pot for inside the cage, or even your charcoals, things like that. I mean, we do obviously the bigger plastic one as a grit pot, but I prefer to use this type for mealworms, the deeper. I think they're about 2 inches deep, so perfect for your mealworms, because you put them in something like this, they're just going to crawl out, you're wasting your money. You know, let's face it, they're not expensive. Birds in itself are not cheap to keep, and I think mealworms are what, £12 a kilo for a regulars, and obviously they don't last long if you keep filling this up and they're getting out. So something like that, or fill it so it's not as easy for them to escape. Brambles, chaffies, any softles, that's what you want for your live food. Now, as you can probably see on the fronts of these cages, you have got the external ones. We do obviously the clips that hold them in place, which are easier, slide up, slide off. We do plenty of those, so no rush. Anyway, I'll get on to show you some birds shortly. Like I explained in the last video, that this time of year everyone will be thinking about breeding season. If you're not, then I don't know why you're not. But I'll be showing you some mules hybrid pairs that I'm looking to do at my place. Obviously Mark, he's got his own schedule on what he's going to be doing. He's got soft bills as well as the green finches that we've both got. But I'll show you just a quick rundown of what I'm looking to do in here anyway. And then later in the episode I will show you throughout some of the flights. My shed is 32 foot long by 12 foot wide, so in here I've got actually 10 flights running down one side. Obviously cage on this back, cage on the side, which I'll show you in a second. And I've got various types of cages for different types of bird, which I'll run through as I'm doing them. So this here is a Greenfinch Cox Chaffinch hen, but obviously Greenfinch Chaffinch hybrid. I will be running 2 pairs this year. Last year I did 3 pairs. I had full eggs, but they just failed for some reason or another. So hopefully this year might actually do it. I've been trying to do a Greenfinch Chaffinch for a long time, so it's just an achievement I really want to achieve, just for personal reasons. So this is a Bullfinch hen, Northern Bullfinch hen to a Greenfinch Cock. This is one of the Greenfinch Cock were unflighted last year. And if anyone doesn't know what unflighted means, it just basically means that it's the first year and the wing flights, the flight feathers don't actually drop out when they molt, unlike the rest of the feathers that they do normally. Unflighted simply, it's the first year, current year bred. Now move on to the next cage to it. Crossbill, Norwich. I've shown you this previously. He seems to be a bit camera shy, this lad, but sure, if we just wait a minute you might see him. The pine is in there just to keep him busy, because as anyone knows, crossbills will chew your perches, as I'll show you. I mean, this has only been in a week. It's chewed to death. And the other thing as well, if I didn't put this in there, he would be out. So that is basically just to keep him in there. Deter him slightly. Now I guess you're thinking, what are these? Now these are Yorkie Cross Norwich Cross 5. So something one of my friends has been working on for a while, for birds for me to mule with, really. I wanted the length of the Yorkie, the width of the Norwich, and a feather of a Fife, just to, obviously mules and hybrids. These are all current year bred. So there's 2 cocks and 1 hen, I believe. I mean, you can see one just starting to sing on the right hand side now. But we'll see. The idea was, I was hoping they were going to be hens, but it is what it is. One possibly might go to a Greenfinch. We'll see. To try for a Greenfinch mule, that being the Canary Cock and the Greenfinch hen, because I've got the length. They're actually probably size of a Yorkie Canary, but the head's quite decent size as well, taking from the Norwich side. So I have got plans for them, but like I said, I've not paired the Greenfinch hybrid pairs up, as in the current year ones. If I'm going to do them, the ones that's already together have been together since last year, but obviously the Greenfinches are all in the flight still, due to certain circumstances which I've already explained previously. Now, these are 2 Norwich, beautiful Norwich I have to say as well, probably too good to mule with, but the idea was to get them, same again, it's a buff hen and a yellow cock, obviously green, self greens. probably I've got to think about this one, whether I am going to mule with them or just keep them as a straight pair, because they are show type, show quality. So I haven't really made my mind up yet. That's why they're still as they are. But we'll see. I've got to really make my mind up shortly, because I need to get them pairs bonded if I am going to be muling with them. So this pair, as you can see, let me just try and get him in there, is again a Yorkie cross Norwich, current year bred bird, not bred by myself, bred for me from a friend, with common Crossbill. Now these seem to be bonded quite well together, but we'll see how they pan out. Nothing's a given when it comes to breeding mules and hybrids. It's just participation and patience. Without that, you're not going to get anywhere. I'm going to leave the video there for today. Just wanted to thank you for everyone that's watched so far and subscribed. I mean, can't believe how many people have actually watched. I know birds can be a pain in the arse at times, but one thing to bear in mind is good for us. The amount of times you just want a bit of peace and quiet, just go sit in your bird shed, come out feeling 10 times better. But yes, thanks for watching. A big thank you to Matt Eld and Oliver Crawford. They've actually helped me out massively to do this, and I'm not the most confident person in front of a camera. I don't like the public speaking type of thing, but while we're at home, I thought I'd just show what's what. And a lot of people said they find it really interesting. If you do have any questions, put them in the comments or send me a message at Direct Bird Products on Facebook. If you are interested in any products, just give me a shout. I mean, we're not in this to be millionaires. We actually do it for bird breeders, bird keepers, to make sure they can get what they need, whether it be now. I mean, we're doing a lot of postal stuff, but we're here to help. Any questions, just give me a shout. Thanks again. Have a good day.